Hello everyone, Fanta here. You are watching Fantavision, and welcome to another episode of Tales from Retail. Today we are once again discussing the magical world of GameStop. Now, I'm sure some of you are getting sick of just between GameStop, Walmart. I mean, it's understandable. You need more variety. I know I've got other videos that go up on this channel. I've got random gaming videos. I've got discussions about what's going on in the industry or at GameStop again because they do a lot of dumb shit. I think next week we'll probably do another Walmart. I know a lot of people enjoy the videos with Eric, and I'm sure I think I've got an interesting topic lined up. I was just looking at the list of different ideas we have, and I think I've got an interesting one lined up. Real quick, before I keep going, I do want to interrupt this for all those people that absolutely love this. The Aloha series Gold Cliff IPA by Kona Brewing Co. I think I've had this brand, I don't know if this flavor on the channel. Tropical pineapple, and it's got real pineapple, apparently. I think they just brew the beer in pineapple, which is kind of neat, It's pretty good. It's not the best I've had, but it's pretty good. I need to get an amber ale. We've got a really good amber ale here by Thunder Canyon. It's like caramely and delicious. Anyway, I'll tell you what it's like when I drink it again. It's been a while. So, today we're discussing thievery. Thieves. People that stole from GameStop. Now, I've covered this a little bit in the past, but I've never had an episode dedicated to it. And like I said before, my store really didn't get robbed too often. We never got robbed at gunpoint. We never had our lives threatened by anyone. In fact, we had some people that were so nice, they actually tipped us because we helped them out. I mean, we had the best clientele out of any GameStop I've ever been to or worked at. And I'm sure that a lot of people have had the same kind of thing happen. I know a lot of people defend GameStop. And if your local GameStop is friendly and they're helpful and they're going to be honest with you, that's great. That's exactly what the whole company should be like. But the reason I can make so many of these videos is because most of the company is not like this, and a lot of the customers are not that nice. So, people that stole, like I said, not many. The only times we had people steal was either from Walmart next to us or a case. I think we might have gotten one headset stolen, and that's about it. That's all I remember off the top of my head. Because if you think about it, it's kind of difficult to steal from GameStop. Let's really quick take a look at what's on the floor for GameStop and what you could steal potentially. So you could steal keychains, you could steal a t-shirt, you could steal a plushie. I don't think Pokemon cards are even on the floor anymore, because I think we did get a couple packs of those stolen. Or 3 things that are all pretty worthless. You can steal game cases, but I mean, I'd say who wants to do that, but we had people do that, which is why we had those terrible generic cases for some people's games. What sucks is when people would steal a new game case. Fuck you, open the case, dude. Look inside, see that there's no game in it, and then move on with your life. Go somewhere else where you can steal the game. But guess what? You can't steal it from us. What you're going to do is just make the next customer that has to buy that last copy of that new game have that shit case. And I felt bad because I'm one of those people. I have a video where I complain about the new games being opened. Can you imagine what I would say if they sent me a new game that was not only opened but in a generic case? I mean, if you're gonna steal a case, why? Don't do that. Don't inconvenience not only the GameStop employees, but the customers. You're inconveniencing other customers. Not only do they have to get it open anyway. Don't be stupid, okay? So there's really nothing for people to steal unless they really put in the effort. I mean, I haven't seen a GameStop that sells iPods in forever. And those are behind a glass case locked up, and they're usually latched or screwed into the wall. They're supposed to be screwed into the wall, and I'll tell you why in a little bit here. Even the headsets now. Headsets back then used to be on locking pegs, and the locking pegs are the same thing as the locking pegs at Walmart. So if you have, like I said, if you have the magnet key at Walmart or you have the magnet key at GameStop, you have the magical skeleton key that can open every single locking peg hook in the world, because they're all made by basically the same company. And if they're not, and they're a different design, that little magnet key still works. I'm telling you, it worked for so many different designs, and we only had one type of magnet key. So I feel like somebody must have caught on to that, because I've been in GameStops recently and they don't have headsets on the floor anymore. The only way they're in the floor at all is when they're like near the ceiling. So if somebody really wants to steal a headset, they'd have to be able to jump that high and grab them. Besides that, they just have to go behind the counter and steal stuff. Because behind the counter, yeah, you could steal a bunch of stuff, but most of it's kind of out of reach. And if people are going to be going behind the counter, that's where the cameras are. And the thing is you can't predict the security of a GameStop. So if somebody wanted to rob a GameStop, unlike, let's say, Walmart or something like that, they've got cameras like everywhere. And usually they make them painfully obvious, especially when they've got either the domes or they have the no ceiling, like the Walmart I worked at looked like a warehouse. Not every Walmart looks like a warehouse, by the way. But mine did, and you could see where all the cameras were. It was pretty obvious, but people still tried to steal anyway. A lot of people got away with it. But at GameStop, they have a lot of hidden cameras. I don't know if you knew this, but they do have hidden cameras. I'm not going to tell you where they are, because there might be an unscrupulous person that is watching this. Don't do it. Don't steal, man. Come on. So there are hidden cameras, and some even have hidden audio equipment. That's crazy. I feel like that shouldn't be legal, right? I guess, I don't know. Do other stores record audio? I can't think of one. But some of the stores I worked at, I think it was one of the stores I worked at, was a very high theft area. And there was audio equipment, so they were actively listening to what was going on in the store. Now, if it was an actual person that was listening, or if they just had a recording in the security office and there were certain trigger words that it was listening for, kind of like an Alexa or Siri, where if they hear the name, they react. I don't know. But they have crazy security, and I mean, some stores just have one camera. My store would have been the easiest place to steal from in the world, but it was in a nice area. That's why we never got robbed, because we're in a nice area and we only have one camera. I mean, half the store was not on camera. It was crazy. And I know there was no hidden cameras in that store because I got to look at the security monitor. And you can even see that we had another security monitor. You can see yourself walking around the store, which I never understand. I know you're trying to tell people, hey, look, you're on camera. Don't steal anything, okay? See, you're on camera. We can see you. But at the same time, when you're doing that, you're showing the dead spots of the store. You're like, well, I'm not on camera right now, and that guy's putting away games or testing a console. I could steal something. But that was back when you could steal things. Even then, they were on locking pegs, so unless they had a key or yanked the headset off of the thing, which would usually make a noise or something like that, you're not going to get away with anything. Especially now, because like I said, they took the headsets off the floor and they instead just have little boxes. And all of the game cases on the store are empty. And the store, in the game stuff that is worth stuff, is either behind glass, or if it's like an accessory or something that's worth a lot, it's also on top. So I feel like GameStop's been robbed enough to figure out their shit. They've gotten tired of it. So we'll just kind of preface that. I definitely haven't talked about all the different security measures. Don't want to make this a complete retelling of stuff I've told in the past. So the stories I do know about GameStop's getting robbed were... Let's just talk about the store I was just talking about that has the beefed up security. And this is the story why, if you haven't heard it, if you're new here and you haven't gone back and listened to the whole archive of videos, there was a guy, came in completely unarmed, didn't say anything when he walked in, walked over to where the iPods, iPhones, iPads, and all that stuff are all locked up on the thing on the wall. Remember how I said that's supposed to be screwed in? They screwed up. They didn't screw it into the wall because the guy picked up the entire case. Now, this thing's fucking heavy. I'm just like, this guy's crazy. I have no idea how he picked that damn thing up because it was like, probably just the case itself was probably 100 pounds at least. And then with all this shit in there, and then being slatted into the wall, like, it wouldn't be easy to just lift off. He'd have to kind of jiggle it and get it off at the right angle. And he picked it up and said, "Have a nice day," and walked out of the store. Like, the balls on that guy. And he just, I don't think he ever got caught. I don't remember any employee telling me about that guy getting caught. So that guy got away scot-free, as far as I know, which is just crazy. Another robbery story that I was told by somebody was by one of those really weird people that, like, tries to make you think they're really cool, but the way they tell the story and the way they act, you don't think they're cool. I can't explain what I mean, but I think I know what I mean. You know the type of person. So he's telling me about this time where a guy came into his store with a gun, and he cocked the gun as he's walking in, walked up to him, aimed the gun at him, cocked it again, and told him to give him all the money in the register. So the guy, of course, complies and gives him all the money, and the guy leaves. However, not only does he tell this story, but he starts to go on about how, I wish I could have taken that guy out, because I know the gun wasn't loaded because he cocked it twice and a bullet didn't come out. Which is true. That does mean that that gun was not loaded. This guy's still crazy. He's robbing a GameStop armed. That's crazy enough. Why do you want to challenge this person over GameStop's money? I never understood that. People always felt very offended when they got screwed over. And you know what? I kind of was there too, but like looking back, it doesn't make too much sense. Like, people trying to shortchange you. Sure, they're shortchanging the store, but it feels like they're personally offending you. They're personally trying to scam you. Of course they're not, and it doesn't really affect you. I mean, if somebody says they gave you a 20, but they gave you a 10, your store only lost $10, but guess what? You're pissed because you feel like you're the one that got robbed. So it was funny because during the holidays, people would try to do this. I know I just kind of glazed over that guy's story about a guy with a gun, but he was annoying, whatever. We'll get back to him. So people during the holidays would try to do money scams where they have you do a bunch of different change. They'll try to give you something, and then they'll come back later and go, "Oh, I gave you this, but you gave me this back." And they taught us all these different tricks of what they tried to do and how they did it and how to avoid it and what to look for in a person that's doing it. And we actually did have a couple people that tried. But the thing is that, at least for me, I think my coworkers did the same thing. Whenever, this is what you're supposed to do too, by the way. It's not like we're fancy, but they'd give us the thing and they go, "Okay, can you break change for this?" I'm like, "Sure." And you sit there and you count it out right in front of them. You hand it to them. They're like, "Oh, actually, can I get change for that?" And I'm like, "No, 1 second." And then you give it to them. And it's like, "Okay, well, give that to me now." And you do it one by one. You break down their steps because what they're trying to do is do it so quickly that you're not going to register that they changed the dollar amount, or you'll slip up somehow and give them more money. Like, "Can I get change for 20? And then you start doing, "Oh, could I actually get change for 50? Okay, well, let me restart." And then you restart on them. Or if they claim that we gave them a certain bill, or they gave us a certain bill and we didn't give the correct change back, like, "Oh, okay, let me just count the entire register." "Oh, I don't know which register it was." "We'll both count, not a big deal." And then they're usually like, "Well, never mind." And you could tell it was fucking bullshit because a lot of them are really sloppy about it. Like I said, they leave and then come back and say that's what happened. And they did it like, it was almost like 5 minutes exactly for each person that would do that. It's like, you should stop doing it at the same interval, because it could be the same group of people doing it, but just changing out who is trying to pull off the scam. And it's just like, what are you people doing? Do you really want to make $20, $30? Like, is your life that sad that that's what you have to get? $20 to $30? Get a job, right? Anyway, sad people is what we're talking about today with these thieves. They're stealing from Walmart. They did the same thing. I almost said they're stealing from Walmart. They're trying to steal from GameStop, for crying out loud. So, speaking of stealing from Walmart, go ahead and segue that. A lot of the thievery type stuff, shady people, didn't steal from us. They stole from Walmart. Because for some reason, like I said, Walmart has a lot more cameras. But apparently, like I said, you can see where the cameras are looking. So maybe people found certain ways around the cameras, or Walmart just doesn't give a shit because it's the most incompetent store on the planet. I don't know. But we would wind up with a shit ton of brand new looking Wiimotes. And you don't really notice it at first. I mean, a lot of people, they'd either get trading credit, a lot of them would get cash. That was always a bit sketchy when they want cash for a brand new looking item. And some people understand you're in a hard time in your life right now. You need to buy groceries. You need the money for something important. You need to pay bills. But a lot of these people, they were stealing. And the thing is even if we suspect them of stealing, we cannot deny anybody a trade unless they're on the blacklist, which there is a blacklist for people who can't trade stuff in. It's usually in the back room, and we had pictures of people that were pulling known scams, or there were known people pulling scams. I guess either way works. We wound up with a shit ton of brand new looking Wiimotes. And we had a bunch of people. It wasn't like one person that kept doing it. It was a whole bunch of different people that were doing it. Like I said, it must have had different groups of people that were doing this. Because if it was one person trading like 50 Wiimotes, it's going to look a bit suspicious. But if it's it's a group of like 3 or 4 people, and they're doing it over the course of the day or a couple of days, we're not going to really pick up on it because we don't care. It's not our problem. If you're not stealing from us, whatever. If we suspect you of stealing, we can't really do anything. Maybe we'll alert somewhere nearby. We'll ask Walmart what's going on. But it was funny. I remember going on my lunch break to Walmart and just seeing like empty rows of Wiimotes, and then coming back to our GameStop and looking at our used Wii area, and I was like, oh, we just wound up with all of Walmart's stock over here. It was the weirdest thing. I don't know. I mean, that's, I guess, the smartest way to do it, quickly unload it. But at the same time, it's really stupid, especially to GameStop, next to where you stole it from. It's not smart at all. Stealing's never smart. That's not what I was trying to say. It was convenient for them. It wasn't smart, though, because we get all of your information on file. We get your driver's license. If you traded over a certain amount or something had a serial number, you're putting your fingerprint, you're signing things with your signature. I mean, GameStop collects so much information from people. It's crazy. I mean, I wonder if there's ever been a case, this is completely off subject. Well, that's close. I wonder if there's ever been a case of somebody getting beaten up or robbed or murdered after trading something into GameStop after pissing off a GameStop employee. I don't know. I mean, people are crazy. People snap all the time. And if you're giving somebody your address, your phone number, all of this information as you're pissing them off, I feel like somebody must have felt the repercussions somewhere down the line. That's right. I mean, I talked about this with my coworkers. I'm like, do you think anyone's ever done that before? And they first were like, I never thought of that, actually. That could be a thing. And another coworker was like, yeah, I was thinking the same thing, actually. It makes no sense at all. We'll have some guy shitting on us the entire time we're there, insulting us, and then give us all of his personal information. It's like, what are you doing? I mean, I wonder how many people have gotten their credit cards stolen. How many people have had their pre-order money stolen, which is another thing that happened at my GameStop, was a worker was stealing pre-orders. Yeah, he was going way back. I don't remember the search system, but you could look. I think it was just kind of going through customers. I think you could look at games and see how many pre-orders you had of that game. So he was looking at really old games that came out forever ago that nobody ever picked up and canceling them and just pocketing the cash. And at that time, I believe he was addicted to painkillers. So he was feeling his addiction with canceling pre-orders, and I think he told me he stole several thousand, but they only had proof for a couple hundred. So he gave back the couple hundred, and I don't know what happened to all the customers that lost money that way. I mean, sure, a lot of those customers were never going to come back anyway, but at the same time, the whole reason he got caught was because somebody came in and was like, I need to cancel my game. I'm going to put it towards something else. And I'm like, well, you don't have a game here. What do you mean? He's like, no, I pre-ordered it. It was a long time ago, but I know I did have something on pre-order. I'm like, okay, so I looked at the history, and the thing is, you can look at history, you can look what's been ever made, canceled, all that kind of stuff. Again, I don't know how the systems have changed. This is old information, but we pulled up his past logs, and it's like, yeah, it looks like it was canceled in this certain date. It's like, huh, I don't remember canceling it. That's strange. And I think the reason that they caught him was because that caught my store manager's eye, and he's like, pull up that again after the customer left. And at that point, you could see who canceled it and at what time. And the time was after the store was closed. So maybe he would have kept getting away with it if he hadn't been doing it after they'd closed the store or late at night every single time. But because he did that, he got caught. And they went back through the footage and they found that many times he'd been doing that, and they calculated a couple $100. He had to pay it back. He did not get arrested. He was threatened to be arrested because if he didn't pay it back, but he secretly told me, he's like, I stole way more than that, so I got lucky. I'm like, Jesus, dude. Like, I can't believe you do that. I mean, he never seemed like the type of person that would do that, but I think it's just drugs, you know? I mean, drug addiction's crazy. So it makes people do what you don't think they'd ever do. Turns them into people you don't even know. It's crazy. I don't know him anymore. I haven't talked to him since he got fired. Those are some of the times I can think of. Again, the guy with the gun. He's one of those guys like, oh, I could have used my karate on him. It's like, shut up, Dwight. Like, you're not going to do anything. I hate when people do that. It makes no sense. You're not going to do anything against a guy with a gun. Come on. Even if it is unloaded, you don't risk your life for a cash register amount of money. It's not your money. You're not being held hostage. You just confirm that your life is not in danger because his gun's unloaded. Just give him what he wants. He'll fuck off. And the thing is, talking about stealing as well, a lot of people were confused when I said that the safe had a 15-minute timer. That was for robberies. That was to prevent robberies. But the thing I think is pretty fucked up is during that 15 minutes, what are those robbers going to do to the people while they're waiting? They're going to keep demanding that they open that safe. And I think it was, if you mess up the code a certain number of times, it makes the delay longer. Which just, I feel like you're putting your entire staff at risk to die over what's in the safe. And it's just money, you know? People's lives is worth way more than any amount of money. So I always kind of felt, even when I was working there, how fucked up it kind of was. They wait 15 minutes. There should be no delay. It should open immediately. And it might be a deterrent for somebody robbing the store at night, but there should be another way to do it. There shouldn't be a delay like that, especially if you're getting robbed during the day or right as you're closing, because you're putting people's lives at risk. I don't know if anybody's been killed because of that. I haven't done research on it. I'm just telling you, I feel like it's a risk they shouldn't be taking. So, those are all of the stealing stories that I can think of at this time. I might hit up my buddies. I have a couple people that I know still work at GameStop. Maybe I'll ask them if they have any more stealing stories, because they are really interesting, because it's just weird human behavior for me, at least, to shoplift. Like, I just don't get it. You know? It's just scummy. Like, don't do it. Don't steal from people. Don't steal from stores. Just don't do it. It doesn't make any sense. You're putting your freedom at risk for usually 50 to 60 bucks. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. So, let me know in the comments if you guys have any interesting stories about your place of business or a place that you've worked that's been robbed, or if you know any crazy stories. If you want me to tell your story maybe about either retail or robberies, send me a message on Twitter. You know, I've been stockpiling lots of messages. I need to make a organized Word document. I've got them all in the account. And sometimes I won't see it because it does this stupid thing on Twitter where like it puts it in like this requests area, and I have it like on the dark mode, so it's kind of grayed out. It's like a black background with gray words, and I just don't see it sometimes. So if I take a little bit to get back to you, I'm sorry. I'm also very busy because I work 40 hours and do all this kind of stuff. So anyway, if I don't get right back to you, I promise you I will get to you at some point. And send me your stories. Also, Eric and I will be streaming tonight some Mario Kart, so join us. Seriously, it's so much fun. We've been playing lots of games with the audience, with the viewers. I mean, we've been playing Jackbox, like different games in there. Like, there's like some art one that we've been playing. There's Quiplash, Mario Kart. We're gonna be playing Mario Tennis at some point. Maybe Thursday. I don't know. We'll find out what his schedule is, but we'll definitely be streaming some Mario Kart tonight, so come on by. My friend code is in the description. Also, July 4th, tomorrow, the whole site where my merchandise is being sold is having a 20% off sale. So it's been 15%, and it will be 15% more for another couple days, but July 4th will be the cheapest the merchandise will be for a while. In fact, it'll be even cheaper than what I bought my own shirt for. 20% off. So if you've been waiting for like some sort of sale to pick up a t-shirt or a mug or something like that, they will be on sale on July 4th. So that's the perfect time to pick something up. Like the video if you guys liked it. As always, subscribe for more content. And really, as always, have a Fanta-tastic day. See you guys. I love the tagline on this too. Liquid Aloha. That's just great. And then it's got like Hawaii. And the shape of the bottle is just so neat.